Welcome back to Paninka Predictions. We've got some great games coming up this weekend, including Liverpool travelling away to face Crystal Palace, Chelsea are taking on Brighton at Stamford Bridge, Brentford hosts Man U, while Man City are at home against Burnley. Arsenal travel to face Newcastle, Tottenham take on Wolves, Leeds host Bournemouth, and in Spain, it's the big one. In the capital, it's the Madrid Derby, as Atlético Madrid look to turn their season around as they host their eternal rivals, Real Madrid. In this video, I'll be giving you my predictions for all those games, plus more. And if you want to find out the exact predictions that I'll be staking my own money on this weekend, then come and check out my very important Paninka predictions on my Patreon channel, where I'll be breaking down my top 5 games from this weekend's action in detail, showing you the predictions I'll be betting on personally and explaining to you exactly why. And here's the difference really between what I do here and what I share with my Patreon members on the VIPP, compared to what many other channels do when they just share their predictions online, and they do it very well and they just predict who's going to win each game. But you see, I'm not here to help you win your fantasy football competition by telling you who's going to win a particular game. Paninka Predictions is solely about finding the safest ways to make a continuous profit from betting on football. So sometimes I might be predicting a winner, but more often than not, who's going to win a game doesn't really interest me. I'm only interested in helping you make money from your passion of football by finding the most predictable outcome from each individual game. And if you look at last weekend's predictions that I shared with you, even just on my YouTube channel, you can see that from the Liverpool versus Everton game, I predicted Liverpool to win and we got that one right. Easy start. Brighton versus Tottenham, I predicted over 2.5 goals and that game ended 2-2, so we nailed that one as well. Wolves versus Leeds, I took both to score and that came good as well, and Leeds won 3-1. Man U versus Chelsea, whereas most punters were actually predicting a Chelsea away win, I went for both teams to score and we got that one as well. I had Bournemouth at a double chance against Newcastle and they drew 0-0, so we got that one right. Now, I did predict Arsenal to score 2 or more goals against Man City, so that prediction I did get wrong. But in Spain, I picked Barcelona to beat Getafe by 2 goals or more, and Barça got up 3-0 in that game, and those odds were really good. They were $1.75 to 1. And the last game I made a prediction on was Real Madrid at home against Espanyol. And I saw that most other online football predictors were really banking Real Madrid to smash 3 or 4 past Espanyol, and they were recommending a Real Madrid win with over 3.5 goals or 4.5 goals, whereas I predicted a narrow win for Real Madrid and a low scoring game with under 3.5 goals and Madrid getting the win. And those odds were very generous. They were 2.3 to 1. And the final score in that game was 2-0 to Madrid. So for all of you who are following my YouTube channel, thank you very much, and I hope I'm helping you earn some extra cash on the side. But if you join my Patreon page, I'm actually showing you the real money-making predictions that I'm betting on myself. With more than 25 years of experience on betting on football and making a great second income from my passion of football, and I'd like nothing more than to help you all do the same as well. That's why I created Paninka Predictions. And last week, if you followed my predictions, then you would be smiling as much as I am right now. And a big shout out to my first Patreon member, MMA Addict. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you got some excellent value from last week's Patreon video. I'll leave the link down in the description for anyone wanting to come join us on the VIPP, and together we'll make this season of football the most profitable one yet. That being said, it's time to get into the action. And let's start off our first game, which sees Brentford at home taking on Manchester United. Brentford found themselves on the wrong end of a 3-1 defeat away at Fulham last weekend, even though they took an early lead through Mikkel Damsgaard, which was really gifted to them by a horrible mistake in the Fulham defence. Brentford never really found a way back in the game, and will be hoping for a better performance this week as they return to the comforts of their home stadium. Manchester United managed their second win of the season last time out against Chelsea, where they came up 2-1 winners, made all the easier after Chelsea had their goalkeeper sent off after only 5 minutes of play for a rash challenge outside the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes gave Man U the lead before Casemiro then made it 2-0 before Casemiro received his second yellow card in the first half and was given his marching orders. Chelsea did manage a late consolation goal in that game, but Man U managed to hold on for the very valuable 3 points. It will be a tricky game for Man U this weekend, as although on paper they may seem to be the stronger side, their away form has not been very good this season, and Brentford playing at home well, they're a tough nut to crack. They have beaten Aston Villa at home and also earned a 2-2 draw against Chelsea, whereas Man U lost 3-0 away to Man City away from home, and they also managed a 1-1 draw earlier on against Fulham. On their last 4 visits here to the GTEC Stadium, Man U have lost 2, drawn once, and won once way back in 2022, so they certainly will have their work cut out for them this weekend. Both teams scored in 3 of those 4 last encounters, and I'm pretty sure that will be the case again this weekend. So for my prediction between Brentford and Manchester United, I'm going for both teams to score. Next up, we have Chelsea taking on Brighton. Now, I think this game is going to be a belter. Chelsea lost 2-1 away against Man U last weekend after they had their keeper sent off right at the beginning of that game, so obviously that never helps. And Brighton nearly managed a 2-1 win against Tottenham, but unfortunately they conceded a late own goal to end up sharing the points. Away from home so far this season, Brighton have lost both games, firstly 2-0 away against Everton and more recently 2-1 against an informed Bournemouth side. Chelsea at home haven't really fared much better, drawing with Crystal Palace and then beating Fulham by 2-0. Now, whenever these two teams play each other, goals are usually a given. Brighton have won the last 2 games at home against Chelsea 3-0 and 2-1. And when they played away against Chelsea, they lost 4-2 and 3-2 on those last 2 occasions. And I think we're in for a similar result again this weekend. I can see both teams getting a goal in this game, and I don't think the goals are going to stop there. So for my prediction between Chelsea and Brighton this weekend, I'm going for over 2.5 goals. And I don't know who's going to win this, and to be honest, I really don't care. I'm just predicting that there's going to be lots of goals in this game, in this fiery encounter at Stamford Bridge. Do you agree with my prediction, or can you see an out-and-out winner in this game? Probably Chelsea, right? If so, then leave your prediction for Chelsea vs Brighton down in the comments. Crystal Palace take on Liverpool this weekend, and will be hoping to be the first team this season to take some points off the reigning champions, as Liverpool recorded their 5th straight win in a row over their local rivals Everton last weekend. Liverpool took a 2-0 lead into half-time in that game and were once again forced to hang on for the 3 points after Everton pulled one back in the final minutes of the game. Now, although Liverpool have been winning all their games recently, they've not really been blowing too many teams away, and they're not keeping too many clean sheets in the process either. And that will surely leave Mateta and co with the belief that they can snatch something from this game. Mateta opened the scoring last weekend against West Ham, and he does look to me like the most likely to cause the Liverpool backline a few problems this weekend. Crystal Palace, they've yet to win at home this season, drawing twice, firstly against Sunderland and also against Nottingham Forest on the opening day. They did manage to beat Aston Villa away from home, and after last weekend's victory away against West Ham, they'll be ready to push Liverpool all the way. But push as they might, I don't see them getting anything from this game, to be fair. In their last 4 games against Liverpool, they've managed 1 draw and 3 defeats, and the last 2 defeats were by a single goal margin, something Liverpool have been dining on all season so far. So for me, it's quite likely that Liverpool will come away with the 3 points from this game, once again, probably by a solitary goal. But I feel that's a bit too risky to bet any money on, so instead for my prediction between Crystal Palace and Liverpool, I'm just going for a Liverpool away win. My boys in the Premier League, Leeds United, they're taking on Bournemouth this weekend, hoping to carry on from where they left off last weekend as they beat Wolverhampton away from home 3-1. And aside from the vital 3 points gained in that win, it also marked the first goals for the new signings Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Anton Stack with a beautiful free kick, and Noah Okafor, who joined us from Napoli. It's a little different playing against a Wolves side that already seemed destined for relegation this season than it is playing against an informed Bournemouth, undefeated now in their last 4 games. Prior to last weekend's stalemate with Newcastle, Bournemouth had beaten Brighton 2-1 at home, Tottenham 1-0 away from home, and they also beat Wolves 1-0 on home soil as well. Bournemouth haven't tasted defeat in the Premier League this season since their opening day loss against Liverpool, and they even managed to score 2 goals in that game as well. So Bournemouth, for me, they do come into this game as slight favourites to get the win, but I feel that things are finally starting to click for Leeds this season, and they may just be capable of causing an upset in front of their home fans. I've got a gut feeling on this one that even if they do end up losing in this game, I think Leeds are still good for at least a goal, if not 2 at home against Bournemouth, who for me are very likely to get on the score sheet as well. So for my prediction between my beloved Leeds United and the informed Bournemouth, I'm going for both teams to score. Come on, Leeds! Man City take on Burnley, hoping to build on their recent improved performances and bag a vital 3 points at home in this game. After the early season slip-ups against Brighton and Tottenham, Man City have gone on to beat their city rivals Man U 3-0 at home, Napoli 2-0 at home, and had that 1-1 draw away against the Gunners last weekend. City must have come away feeling the worst of the two teams last weekend, as they took an early lead in that game and could have extended their lead several times in that game before finally succumbing and conceding a last-minute equaliser from Arsenal's super sub of the moment, Gabriel Martinelli. Burnley played out a 1-1 draw with Forest at home last weekend, and prior to that they lost 1-0 away to Liverpool. They also lost 3-2 away to Man U thanks to a last-minute penalty, but before that they did manage to beat Sunderland 2-0 at home. So Burnley, for me, they're really displaying the kind of form that's going to see them struggle this season, and I don't really fancy their chances of getting anything from this game against a seemingly resurgent Manchester City. Even if they do get a goal, the way City and especially that big man Haaland are playing right now, I think we're in for a comfortable home win here. But just to play it a little bit safer, for my prediction between Man City and Burnley, I'm going for a Man City home win and over 1.5 goals in this game. And I will be betting my own money on that prediction this weekend. What about you? Share with me in the comments below your predictions for this game, and while you're down there,
Title your sex tape.
Hit that subscribe button for me as well. And speaking of teams that have beaten Man City this season, Tottenham Hotspur are at home and taking on Wolverhampton Wolves. Is there an easier prediction to make this weekend? Hang on, we're talking about Tottenham here. Spurs are up in third place right now with 10 points to their name, whereas Wolves, they're holding up the table with 0 points still after their first 5 games. Tottenham managed to climb back from 2 goals down to earn a point in their last game away against Brighton, and that game came just after their Champions League victory at home against Villarreal. And what a great goal that was to win that game. Wolves, well, guess what they did in their last game? Yep, once again, they lost. After taking an early lead against Leeds, Wolves then conceded 3 goals before the half-time break, couldn't really muster a response in the second half, and were ultimately beaten comfortably by a very good-looking Leeds side. Prior to that, Wolves also lost away at Newcastle by a solitary goal. They lost at home against Everton in a 3-2 thriller, and they've also been beaten by Bournemouth and Manchester City. Surely Tottenham, in the form they're playing against the Wolverhampton side in the form they're playing in, are capable of getting a straightforward 3 points in this home fixture, aren't they? I'm not betting on it. I'm telling you, it's Tottenham, and I still just don't trust them at the moment. Instead of going for the home win, I think we're going to see loads of goals in this game. Either Wolves are going to play the game of their season and score a few goals in this one, or Tottenham are going to prove me wrong and smash 3 or 4 goals past this out-of-sort Wolves. Either way, I'm seeing goals in this game, so for my prediction between Tottenham and Wolves, I'm going for over 2.5 goals. And in the final game from the EPL that I'm covering this week, we have Newcastle at home against Arsenal. Now, I'm really looking forward to this game. I really like Newcastle as a club. They've produced some legendary players and legendary moments in football. Liverpool fans should all remember what I'm talking about. And I was lucky enough to live in Newcastle for a period of time while the legendary Alan Shearer was still playing at the club, and I saw loads of amazing games at St James's Park. And yes, I know I'm showing my age a little bit now. Now, Newcastle seem to be improving on a weekly basis, I think, especially now with Anthony Gordon back in the team. They played out a pretty boring 0-0 draw with Bournemouth at the weekend, and before that in midweek they unsurprisingly were beaten by Barcelona in the Champions League. Newcastle beat Wolves, they drew with Leeds, and they lost 3-2 at home to Liverpool before that, so I think that Newcastle are in with a real shot in this game. Arsenal salvaged the point in their last game at home against Manchester City with a late equaliser from Gabriel Martinelli. And before that, they beat Athletic Bilbao 2-0 away in the Champions League. They've also smashed Forest and Leeds this season. They lost 1-0 to Liverpool and beat Manchester United away as well. And look, we know Arsenal, they're a good team. They play good football and they got loads of world-class players all over the pitch. They currently sit in second spot behind Liverpool. Better get used to that. Whereas Newcastle are languishing down in 13th, so Arsenal do come into this game as slight favourites, but not if you look at the history books. You see, in the last 5 times that Newcastle have hosted Arsenal, Newcastle have won 4 times and Arsenal has only won once. So by no means is this going to be a straightforward win for the Gunners. I do see them being able to get a goal in this game though. I also see Newcastle being able to do the same as well. So that makes my prediction for me pretty straightforward, and I'm going between Newcastle and Arsenal for both teams to score. In Spain now, and let's start off with my boys. It's Barcelona at home against Real Sociedad. Now, this recording is being done before the midweek games in La Liga, so I'm basing my predictions for these two La Liga games on the form of both teams coming up until last weekend's games and on the history of the matchups between both sides. And I don't really think the midweek games, barring any injuries, will have any effect on my predictions for these games. So Barcelona, they beat Getafe last weekend 3-0 at home, and Real Sociedad, they lost 3-1 against Real Betis. Sociedad also lost to Real Madrid the weekend before that, and they surprisingly also lost away against Real Oviedo. They're not playing at their best football at the moment. Barcelona, on the other hand, well, with or without Lamine Yamal, this Barça team is on fire. They've scored 11 goals in their last 3 games alone and have kept 2 clean sheets in their last La Liga games. So things are looking good for Hansi Flick's Barcelona, and they might be looking even better come this weekend, as we may see Lamine Yamal make his return from injury, and that can only spell bad news for the visiting Sociedad. Sociedad have lost their last 4 games against Barcelona quite convincingly, and I don't think it takes a genius to see that it's going to happen again this weekend. But let's play it safe. So for my prediction for Barcelona at home against Sociedad, I'm going again for Barcelona to win by at least a 2-goal margin. There's loads of good predictions to make on this game, to be fair, and if you want to know what those predictions are, then come and join the VIPP on my Patreon channel, and I will break it all down for you and share with you many viable predictions. And our final game this round comes from the Spanish capital, and it's of course the Madrid Derby, Atlético Madrid hosting their city rivals Real Madrid. Atlético Madrid seem to be struggling to find their form so far this season. They've recorded so far 2 losses, 2 draws, and just the 1 win. And they'll come into this game without the services of their number 1 striker, Alexander Sorloth, as he saw a straight red card in last weekend's draw away against Mallorca. Real Madrid, on the other hand, well, they just can't stop winning right now. They had a comfortable 2-0 win over Espanyol in their last game, and they also beat Marseille in the Champions League in midweek before that, and they've also beaten the likes of Sociedad, Mallorca, Oviedo, and Osasuna so far this season. So all good wins for Madrid, but not really against any good teams so far. And even though Atlético Madrid might not be in the best form right now, they're the toughest opponents Real Madrid has had to face yet. So maybe the form book gets thrown a little bit out the window in this one, and Atlético Madrid at home in this derby, well, they do better than you think. Can any of you tell me the last time Real Madrid beat Atlético Madrid in this stadium? Maybe 2 years ago? Maybe 5 years ago? No. You have to go all the way back to the 2018-19 season when Real Madrid beat them here 3-1. That's how long it's been. Will it happen this weekend? God, I hope not. I'll be backing the home side in this game because let it all be known that I support 3 teams in football. Barcelona is my first team, Leeds is my second team, and my third team, well, that's anyone that plays against Real Madrid. I think Atletico can pull off an upset this weekend. If not, I hope at least they can get a goal, because my prediction for the Madrid Derby is going to be for both teams to score. And I'll be very happy with a draw. Let me know your predictions for this massive Madrid Derby down in the comments, and let me know which side of Madrid you'll be supporting. My friends, that's all for this weekend's coming football predictions. Remember, I make these predictions to try and help everyone make a little bit of extra money from their passion of football. But of course, there are no guarantees. Nothing is ever completely predictable in football, and that's exactly one of the reasons why we love this game so much. Until next week, everyone, enjoy the great football, have an amazing weekend, leave a comment in the chat, and let's get some banter started, and I will see you all again very soon.